Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What we're looking at is the daily chart, and the data I have is to 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on February the 26th. Yesterday, when we looked at Bitcoin, at that time, Bitcoin was trading at around the 39,000. And I had mentioned that it's really depend on how the stock market would perform. If we had a strong rally by the stock market and closing high, it's very likely that Bitcoin should be able to cross over the 10 days moving average. And that's precisely what happened. The stock market staged a major rally yesterday, and it ended up closing over 800 points higher. And immediately after that, Bitcoin moved up, and then it ran all the way up to over 40,000, where it tested this white line, which is the 50 days moving average. Let me split the screen so that we can look at the daily as well as the hourly chart. All right, so on the left is the daily chart, and on the right is the hourly chart. As you can see, yesterday, Bitcoin was trading below 39.5, and it was having a hard time crossing over. That's critical resistance. But after that, the stock market staged a major rally, and after the market closed, we saw Bitcoin follow the trend of the stock market and trend it up. But the minute it hit the 50 days moving average, it got rejected right away. The price pulled back and dropped below this very critical support at 39.5. Then it tried to bounce up, but the minute it tested the 39.5, get rejected. We had another pullback, found support at around the 38,500. And now, as you can see, it is starting to build momentum and it's looking to retest the 39.5 again. Now, looking at this hourly chart, there's no doubt. Technically, it is looking strong. The momentum is there. As you can see, after dipping all the way down to 34,000, we had this major rebound. Volume pickup ran all the way up to about 39.6. Retrace, the low now is higher than the prior low. Then it ran up all the way to about 40,300, where it tested the 50 days moving average. The high is higher than the prior high. Pullback, the low now is still higher than this prior low. So all of this is indicate an uptrend momentum. Let's draw this uptrend from, let's just connect this low point to cover this low point and just extend that. Extend it up to cover this high point. Let me clear this. So now, it's clearly showing us that Bitcoin is in this upward trend. Technically, we could potentially see Bitcoin bounce up, cross over the 39.5, and then retest the 50 days moving average. If it can cross over, then likely it could potentially run up to about 41,000, where it would likely test the resistance of this upward channel before we could see some sort of a pullback and consolidation. And that is how I would interpret this chart under normal conditions. But we are not operating under normal conditions right now. There is a war that is raging in Eastern Europe between Russia and the Ukraine. And just today, there is news regarding a possible harsher sanction to be announced in the very near future. And if the proposed sanction includes these items, which is sanction against Russian central bank and remove Russia from the SWIFT banking network, then I believe the stock market will take a major dive. And if the stock market drops, Bitcoin would likely follow. So right now, I think Bitcoin would probably just trade range bound. It would likely trade between support at the 10 days moving average and resistance at the 50 days within the next 24-48 hours. If the sanction include those two items, it's likely that we're going to see another major drop, where it would retest this 34,000 and could potentially drop down to as low as 32,000. If the sanction does not include those two items, then it is very likely that we would see Bitcoin follow this trend, retest the 50 days, and could potentially cross over that. So in the near term, for me, it's just a wait and see, because there's not a lot that you can do right now. I am not adding any more, even though the price look extremely attractive. But because of this uncertainty, there's always a chance that Bitcoin could face another major pullback. And I definitely don't want to buy in right now, then ended up holding the bag. I am just going to patiently wait And the minute Bitcoin can cross over and stabilize over the 50 days moving average at around the 40,000 and a half or 41,000, the minute it can stabilize over this and showing a sign that it is beginning to reverse direction and trending up, that is when I would continue my accumulation. So for now, folks, just hang tight and hold on to what you have. That's it. Give me a like if you appreciate this content. And if you like this sort of boring videos, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications.